This is the most direct and public the IAEA has ever been on what they know about Iran's secret nuclear weapons work. Now, this is not about the open public enrichment of uranium. That's the program that Iran admits to and has in the public. This is about secret work that has gone on the design of nuclear warheads, on explosives that could be used to compress the highly enriched uranium to make an explosion, triggering devices, computer models for warheads that could fit atop Shahab missiles. Most of this is not new. Most of this has been known to experts for many, many years. I myself got briefed on much of this at IAEA headquarters in Vienna several years ago. What's different is that for the first time it's out of the sort of internal workings of the IAEA and being presented on the world stage with the imprimatur of the agency's head.
Okay, so it's a significant report. What does it say specifically that is significant to you about the work Iran is doing now?
What's significant, actually, is that there isn't that much that's currently going on. Almost all this work is pre-2003. It's all old data. It all came from that laptop you referred to, the laptop of death that was disclosed in 2004. There's suspicions of some work there, and there is evidence of some work still going on, particularly computer modeling. But there doesn't seem to be any evidence of a crash program to build a warhead. That's what's so significant, is that it's very clear from this report that Iran has not made a decision to go to a nuclear weapon, that a nuclear weapon is not imminent or inevitable, and thus there's still time to use diplomacy to convince Iran not to go ahead and build a nuclear weapon.
Whoa. I don't know that we expected a report to be released by the IAEA that would lead someone like you to that conclusion. Yeah, go ahead, Joe.
Well, let me tell you, what you're seeing is a lot of hype about this report.
Yes.
And if you watch some of the news stories, it's all, well, you know how the way the news business is, danger imminent, don't turn away, watch this space. But in fact, when you carefully read the IAEA report, you realize two things. One, there's no question that Iran has done work on a nuclear weapon, trying to build a nuclear weapon. You also realize how long they've been trying to do this. Some of this work goes back to the Eisenhower administration, and they haven't yet succeeded. You also see how thin is the evidence that there's much current work going on. So the question is, will the United States use this report to pivot from pressuring Iran to actually talking with Iran to try to engage in some negotiations to end the program? Here's what I would look for. Watch in Washington next week. You'll probably see the United States impose targeted sanctions, a new round of international of U.S. sanctions on the Iranian nuclear program and some of the scientists engaged in this. Watch for the U.S. to try to move a resolution at the UN, but I think Russia and China are probably going to block that. And watch carefully for any signs that the U.S. is now willing to sit down with the Iranians, and the Iranians are willing to sit down with the U.S. I would not expect a military strike from either Israel or the U.S. Both sides know that would start another war in the Middle East, something neither country wants.
Joe, this interview really could end right there, but it's such an important story, and there has been so much buildup leading to this report. I want with you to blast through some of the key conclusions of the report and have your comments on it, if you don't mind. So the report says Iran's concerning activities include efforts, some successful, to procure nuclear-related and dual-use equipment and materials by military-related individuals and entities. Was this known information? Is this new information?
This was known and was actually written up in internal IAEA documents several years ago. It's well known to analysts. I've written about this. Many other people have written about this. You could go up to the Institute for Science and International Security website and see some of these IAEA documents. What you get is more detail. What you get is more detail on this. So we have the name of the Russian scientists who in the mid-1990s came to Iran and helped them with design work for a warhead. We have indications that it was the AQ Khan network from Pakistan that gave Iran not just its centrifuges, but probably gave Iran a design of a nuclear weapon. We have much more detailed, and we're understood that there's photographic evidence of the kind of explosive work that they were undertaking. In order to make a nuclear warhead fit on top of a missile, you have to have a complex compressed design surrounded by some very high-tech explosives. There's signs that Iran was working on those high-tech explosives and testing them. There's no civilian purpose for any of the things I've just described. They're useful only for nuclear weapons. That's why this report is so damning for Iran. It lays bare the myth that Iran has tried to perpetrate, that this is all about fuel rods, when it's actually about developing cores for nuclear weapons.
Okay, another issue of concerning activities here, Iran's efforts to develop undeclared pathways for the production of nuclear material. What does that mean, Joe?
Yeah, what that means is there's suspicions that Iran was looking to build secret facilities where it could enrich the uranium. And this, again, goes back to before 2003. Most of this, as I say, is pre-2003 activity, when it's clear they had what the IAEA calls a structured program to develop a nuclear weapon. So they were looking for that, build a secret factory that could enrich the uranium. They apparently gave up on that and went public. This is the facility you see at Natanz now, a public facility to enrich uranium to low levels. But it appears that they continue to try to seek another pathway, hidden facilities. The one at Qom was disclosed several years ago. There may be other secret facilities, but there's no evidence presented in the report or by U.S. intelligence that any other facilities actually exist.
All right, Joe, one more for you. Does Iran have at this moment a full-fledged nuclear weapons program based on what we know from this report?
The report does not say that, and the U.S. intelligence conclusion, and remember, U.S. intelligence provided much of the information that's in this report, the U.S. intelligence agencies conclude that Iran does not have a full-fledged nuclear weapon program at this time. The official U.S. intelligence position is that that program stopped in 2003. Some activity may continue, but the U.S. intelligence agencies believe that Iran has not yet made the decision to build a nuclear weapon. Everything I see confirms that intelligence finding. There's still time to stop an Iranian nuclear bomb.